Thank you, Tom. It's great to see everybody. It's great to be back home. We had a really good trip out to California, looking at a home game here tomorrow and some other home games coming up in the next 8, 9 days. And great to be back and get back to work in front of our fans as well. Just to recap the last week, I thought it was a really important time for our team, spending that time together in an extended period of time. It was a beautiful event, beautiful location. Everything was run first class, and was happy to see our team perform against good teams. And winning those neutral site type games is really important to the development and the progress of our team. And of course, as Tom mentioned, trying to achieve a certain level of metrics that we're being measured against with the net and Ken Pom and all the other things. So really good all the way around, and just try to keep finding ways to get better and better.
I think I remember you speaking in the past before, taking trips like this and kind of being able to galvanize, especially in today's day and age where you guys only get a limited amount of time together in general. But how good is it just collectively to spend that number of days on the road kind of together in a basketball setting, but also kind of in a team building setting?
I think one of the things that is universal as former players look back on their career, they're going to remember the great wins. They're going to remember the really challenging losses, but they will 100% remember the trips. And I still think that it's important for us to provide experiences and do things in a first-class manner, all because not just giving them that type of memory, but it also helps build a team. As you said, we've spent a lot of time together since June, but being able to, from practices to games to meetings to bus rides to airports to going someplace new that guys have never been before and hearing their stories. And I'll lean into those things too and just ask them to keep track of all the states that they've been to, where basketball has taken them, and feel a great level of appreciation for it. But it's really important.
How important was it for you to win the way that you guys did against UNI? You kind of lived in this offensive world for a while, but that was, if you want to call it gritty, whatever word you want to describe it, but important in terms of growth.
Yeah, I had said that I thought it was really important for us to win a rock fight. And we knew that the game would be a lower possession game. Really good teams that play with a deliberate style are very, very difficult to speed up. And we knew that we were going to have to take advantage of every single possession. We needed to take care of the basketball. We needed to defend better. And that was the thing that I was most pleased about on that trip. I thought we took a step defensively. Again, we have a long ways to go, but finding a way to have a lead, get the lead back after losing it, in finishing the game off against a really good team, I thought was very important.
It's also interesting to look the number of guys that you have playing. Everyone seems to contribute. Have you had a team that has this many contributors to it, and each one of them has their own specific piece, it seems like, that they're adding in the moment?
I actually have. It's something that I've always wanted to do. We've had a history, our coaching staff, and we've been together a while. And again, in the last few years, it's different. But we've had a history of playing freshmen in important roles. And you look at our two true freshmen, and I still call KJ a true freshman, even though he was here for a semester. But him and Jalen Lawal have played really important roles for us. Both of them have played in the second half at important times. But having the ability to be versatile with lineups, be able to absorb foul trouble, be able to go to a hot hand, be able to put different lineups together to guard different people. We felt like we needed to go small and put KJ at the 5 some. We had a group of guys out there that hadn't played much together. Ramad Dean, I thought, gave us a huge lift at the 4. But we've leaned into the fact of we want to have strength in numbers. We want to play with depth. We want to have max effort out on the floor and absolutely rest on the sideline.
What are you hoping to accomplish on Tuesday night?
Well, we want to keep finding ways to play better and better. As I told our team that if your best mile time ever is 5:30, we're trying to get it 5:29, and that's pushing ourselves. We want to defend better. We want to play with better tempo. We want to rebound better. There are certain metrics that we've put on this team that we say, hey, we've got to get better in these areas, from the speed in which we're running to how crisply we're passing the basketball and moving with it. So there's a number of metrics, Michael, that we're looking for, but ultimately, of course, we want to win the game, and we want to keep fighting for perfection. Knowing we'll never get there, we just want to keep getting better and better.
So I'm sorry to have been late, and I'm sorry that I may have missed this. Have you reacted to the initial net ranking yet?
Have I reacted to it?
Yes. In public.
I've not commented on it other than, I know we talked about scheduling and how challenging scheduling is, and there's a numbers aspect to all of this, and the net is a fascinating metric, and I'll say fascinating because I wish I had the formula for it. We have the general idea from playing on neutral sites and playing on the road can give you a bump. Scoring margin is absolutely a factor. And then outside of that, it's just trying to cobble together a schedule that you think can give you the best chance. Frankly, it's why we're playing this game tomorrow. It doesn't count. Playing home games actually kind of hurt you. And so playing two non-Division ones, not against the metric, will actually play many more road and neutrals in the end, and that was important to this whole thing. So I had no idea what it was going to be today, like not even a clue. Happy that we're at a good starting point, but we've got a long ways to go.
Did you expect that you could be that high given the way you scheduled if you played the way you've played so far?
Yes, I expected it to be in a pretty good position, just frankly, by looking at we have 6 games that count, and only one of them are a home game. And so if you just look at that, and that you played 2 true road games, 3 neutral games, winning by double figures is important in a number of games. Winning the one game by 30 points. I mean, just those types of things, you just wonder. But again, until you get the first one, you have no idea. I'm not spending all day diving into everybody else's schedule either. But, again, we've done some good things to this point. But again, it's so far away from where we want to be.
It seemed like there was a lot of conversation, and maybe I'm wrong, but in the players tournament, it seemed there were lots of blowouts, and it seemed like there was some conversation about that. Is that anything that you think about as you get down late in the game and you're up 25 points, like, we're just going to keep playing because we beat them by 40 and that helps, in March?
100% think about it. I mean, you can't help but think about it. And now we're still going to we're going to respect the game though too. It's not like, hey, we're still going to, I just think there's a karma to this whole thing. Like, you got to respect the game, respect your opponent, but at the same time that we're going to play the game, and because every one of those possessions matter too, as we maybe are giving a younger player some reps, and we're trying to work on certain things, and that video is important to us. But we all know in coaching, like you just know when you see a score, and it was a lopsided affair, you can't help but go to Ken Pom and say, hey, how did that change that person's net? Like, those things are a factor.
So there's still one person who you expected to be a contributor this year that hasn't played. Where does that stand?
Yeah, Terrence Ford is still out. He had a procedure done. He's going to be out for the foreseeable future. When that return is, I can't say. From rehab and healing and everything else, but he will not be playing tomorrow. I can assure you that.
At what point do you think that he won't play all year? What point do you when do you get to that point?
Yeah, I think we're still a ways away from that. I mean, I think as you look at a healing process, it's not a 6-month injury by any means. But at the same time, you got to take a look at the overall healing process and where he's at. But he's within the 2-week window of when he had a procedure done that he can't do anything. So yeah, we're still a ways away from that type of determination.
Coach, when you look at the net and, you're judged on wins and losses, your livelihood depends on, maybe where your net is sometimes. And yet it's this complicated thing that nobody seems to be able to figure out. I mean, do coaches like yourself or others go, what is this sorcery? I mean, how do you gauge something that you have no idea, the transparency of it and what it means, and then try to figure out how to react to that?
I enjoy numbers. I'll just go back in the RPI days when I was in charge of scheduling as an assistant and putting a schedule together. Like you could very specifically look at maybe a team you projected to win 22 games and be at the top of, I'll just pick a league like the Atlantic Sun, would be much more impactful to your strength of schedule because winning percentage was everything. But that team was more impactful than maybe the bottom of the Big 12 or Big 10 or SEC. You could see that. Now it's so different with the quadrants, with you just don't know exactly how things are weighed. You know what things are considered, but now I think it's been since 2018, 17 or 18 that this came into play. You can clearly see that scoring margin is a big part of it, which goes to what Michael's comment is. Like, then of course it's figuring out roads and neutrals and everything else. But you can just see how people schedule. Certain leagues they're not playing any road games. They're playing neutral site games like the Players Era and everything else. And then they're trying to play the quad fours and try to beat them by as much as you can. And so we've got to do it differently here. It's why we're playing such few home games. It's why we're playing some of the home games we are. But again, if we could have designed it the exact way we wanted to, it still looked different. It's just the way the games were presented to us too. But it is hard, Bruce, because you just don't know what the exact formula is.
So you can't solve the Rubik's Cube, and yet you have to kind of at some point go, well, we think this helps and we think that helps. Is that frustrating?
Yeah, it's challenging. I mean, I think it's, again, I like knowing the rubric of the class, right? Like knowing what you're going to be graded on in what components. Hey, your tests are worth this, your exams are worth this, your attendance is worth this. Again, we have there's been so much trial and error, and you can look at people's schedules, but you got to go out and beat the best teams you can and schedule the best teams that you can beat, and certainly challenge yourself to get ready for league play. But everybody right now in the non-conference is racing to put their league in the best position possible. And to do that is challenging. Us, the A-10, the Mountain West, the West Coast Conference, what happens is we end up playing each other, and that's what we look to do, and play those good teams and challenge ourselves against them, and you try to play really well.
And your defensive improvement, probably no surprise that Miles Rigsby coming back and one of your better defensive players coming back and being able to play. There's no surprise that's helped a little, hasn't it?
That is exactly true. He graded out as our best defender in the summer. We felt really good about him coming back for so many reasons. But defensively, he's got an edge to him. He's competitive. He's tough. He's also long and athletic. He can guard different guys. He can guard guys that are smaller than him. He can also guard guys that are bigger than him because he's just got fight to him. And so he's added so much to us and played a big role, no doubt.
And Saturday you take on a Missouri State team. I know you don't want to look forward, look ahead, but maybe one of the under-the-radar great games last year was in Springfield, and it was kind of a difficult loss to take, and I'm not sure if the team recovered that well, but it was a great game a year ago, and obviously want to pay them back a little.
Yeah, those are great games. And, I think about the Missouri State rivalry, and I call it a rivalry because it's got a long-standing history. I thought, playing Northern Iowa, another old Missouri Valley game, playing Oral Roberts, playing Wichita State, like these games. And I'll highlight the Missouri State game in a way that I was at the Final Four last year, and I was walking through they have these events for kids and all in expos and things, and I'm walking through the exit, and these two fans from Springfield came up and said, "Hey, are we playing this year?" And I said, "Who are you with?" And he said, "Missouri State." And I said, "I think we're going to play." And they just, again, I love stuff like that, and it's right up the road. Coach Martin does a great job. Again, we've got a game before that, but I just think those games that our fans can recognize that there's history with, I think those are fun games to schedule and play.